Hey Cedar Park homeowners, I'm Eric Peterson, broker and owner of Kopa Real Estate. In this video, we're going to cover the most recent real estate statistics for Cedar Park, Texas for October 2024. We're going to talk about mortgage rate predictions through the end of next year, things that you can do to avoid getting frustrated when selling your house, the difference between emotion and facts, logic, and reason in real estate, and how you should go about selecting a buyer's agent for your next home purchase. All right, let's get into the stats for Cedar Park. In October, there were 194 active listings with 80 homes under contract. 52 homes sold in October at an average dollars per square foot of $245. Average sales price is $632,515 with a median price of $632,515. Average days on the market were at 46 days, and the highest priced home that sold was at $2,249,500. If you'd like to see more local real estate information, be sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment about what you'd like to see for next month. Plus, whenever you're ready to put your home on the market and get it sold, get in touch with us as soon as possible. All right, and before we get into it, I just want to remind you, if you are planning on putting your home on the market, to make sure that you plan on attending our next home selling seminar coming up November 14th or November 16th at Z Tejas in Avery Ranch. Sign up at copaseminar.com to save your seat. Here's the latest about what we're seeing for interest rates. The last time the Fed met back in September, they cut rates by 0.5%. We saw mortgage rates had already anticipated that and dropped down to almost 6%. And today, as I'm shooting this in the beginning of November, interest rates are back above 7%. So how did this happen? Well, keep in mind, the Fed is cutting short-term interest rates between what happens as far as lending between banks overnight. And the mortgage rates are set by, quote unquote, the market. So the market reacted to this by being all of a sudden worried that there's some more data coming out that's inflationary, and that caused interest rates to go back up. So here's the thing is that, people are asking me what I think about the market next year. I'm planning on for my business that mortgage rates are going to be somewhere between that 6 and 7%, but looking at what the Mortgage Bankers Association is forecasting, they're forecasting rates to be somewhere around 6% by the end of next year, and even maybe the next couple of years out. And so if you've been saying, well, I really need to move, but I'm going to wait until rates are 3% or 4%, there isn't anybody credible that I follow that is expecting that rates are going to go down at that point anytime soon. So it's probably best to just make your life plans as well based on what we're seeing in the market right now. Hope for the best. I want to be optimistic as well, but there's just no data to support that we're going to see rates really dropping anytime soon. Here's a quick tip about something that will help you avoid getting frustrated when you put your home on the market. This is a comment I saw in one of the local Facebook realtor groups from an agent selling a house and talking about how frustrated the sellers were, talking about how frustrated she was about the buyers and buyers agents and how they're acting. Here's where this can get frustrating is that when you're interviewing real estate agents to sell your house, particularly agents that might not have a lot of experience, they're going to have what's called uninformed optimism. And you're going to be really attracted to that because they're going to tell you, they're going to promise you the easy button, and they're going to tell you that things are going to be simple and it's all going to be easy because that's what you want to hear, and that's what they think you're going to want to hear to hire them. And the reality is that's not what you need to hear. You need to be prepared for the fight. So think about it this way. If you went to two different dentists and you needed to have one of a cavity drilled, right? You're going to go to one dentist, they're going to tell you, oh no, it's not going to hurt at all. And you're going to go to another dentist and they're going to say, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. Right? Well, what's going to happen is you're going to go into it and it's going to hurt. You're going to be really upset with the first dentist who told you it's not going to hurt. And with the second dentist, you're going to actually be happier because you were prepared for it. And, I hate to compare selling a house to be like drilling for a cavity, but in this case, it really can apply because if you're not realistic about what's going to happen, especially with some of the wishy-washy people that we see as far as buyers and buyers agents and some of the unprofessionalism that we might see, you're not going to be prepared for it. If you're prepared for it, I tell everybody, I say the Serenity Prayer every morning, and there's only so much that I can do about some other people as well, but the more prepared for it you are, the easier it's going to be. And I saw this really interesting quote about you're on the bus and it's going the wrong way, or on the train and it's going the wrong way, and what should you do? And I thought that this really applies a lot to real estate, because here in November, at the end of the year, this is the time of the year that I get a lot of calls from people who they've already got their house listed and they're frustrated, or maybe they've had their home on the market and it already didn't sell, or they've got a rental property and it's just kind of a lemon. It's not making them any money, but they don't have any kind of inertia to actually get off the bus and go the other way, right? Get off the train, go the other way. And that's really what you need to do. So when I'm talking to somebody, it's probably not going to get any better, right? And at some point, you've got to take responsibility for that and just say, I don't want to keep going. I don't want to go that one next stop. I'm the same way. I've been on the subway and somewhere, or a train somewhere. I'm like, I think I'm going the wrong way. And the best thing to do is get off, figure out a better plan, go the other direction. You'll be a lot happier than just kind of going along and getting even more frustrated or desperate with whatever kind of whatever path you're taking. I think the biggest mistake I see when I hear people complaining about what's happened to them in real estate is that they forget that real estate is almost all about emotion, or at very least 50% emotion. And what they try to do is they're trying to apply facts, logic, and reason to it. And that just winds up getting them even more frustrated. And so a couple examples that I've seen with two situations of people that had their homes on the market and they weren't selling. One is somebody that just painted their house a lot of kind of strange colors and a lot of dark colors. And the house didn't sell. And when I talked to the seller, they were, of course, this is a common thing. Well, the buyers can paint if they want to, right? And sure, that's the facts, logic, and reason response to it. But the reality is the buyers are making an emotional decision on your house before they even come and look at it. So if it looks kind of strange or looks funny or looks dark in pictures even, or when they come for a visit, they're not going to be interested. And so the buyers don't always use facts, logic, and reason. So the more you can just understand that it is an emotional process and make your decisions based on understanding buyer psychology, the better off you'll be. Second example I see is that buyers around our area are really looking for homes that have natural light. And many of the homes that we're selling, the owners have put some kind of a solar shade or solar film up on the windows. And that may be great for energy efficiency, but even when I'm in a lot of these houses, they're so dark, I don't even think I could work from some of the offices that I'm in. And so that solar shade might be great from facts, logic, and reason in terms of utility bills or just internal temperature and all that. But those buyers are making a decision about raising their family, and they want to be in a house that is light and bright. I mean, this is a huge complaint that we get. And so to say to a buyer, well, you can always remove that, well, we've already lost them. They've already made a decision about the house that it's too dark for them. And so trying to then get them to figure out, okay, well, if I removed it, maybe it would be 20% lighter. It's impossible for somebody to really make those kind of decisions. So that's just two examples that I found recently when I talk to people. They wind up getting frustrated because it's really hard. Once a buyer is turned off, it's almost impossible to get them turned back on using that facts, logic, and reason. Can you believe 74% of real estate agents haven't even sold a single house this year? Well, this was shared by a title escrow officer the other day. And a question that I get asked a lot from a listing agent standpoint is how you should find your next buyer's agent. So I thought I would tell you a few tips that I would be considering if I was going to be buying a house. And one is that realtor commission changes went into effect a couple of months ago, and everybody should be up to speed on that. But again, 74% hadn't sold a house, so that may not be true. You want to have these difficult conversations with your agent as far as what's going to happen, what they're going to get paid, how they're going to be compensated in advance. And here's why. Because I got an email from an agent wanting to know what commission we were paying to the buyer agent. Well, hours before that, we got another offer, and I submitted that offer to the seller. Got a great offer. Seller wanted to accept that offer. So the other people didn't even get a chance to make an offer because They were waiting to find out what commission was being offered instead of just including the buyer agent compensation with the offer. Those buyers totally missed out. And the thing is that agent hounded me for weeks after that, wanting to know, status of the property and all that. So the buyers totally missed out on a property that they love because they didn't, maybe that agent just wasn't up to speed on it, or maybe the buyers took a bad approach in terms of going with that agent. So that's just one thing that you want to take a look at. Second is that you want to make an offer. Don't be waiting around for the sellers to be reducing prices. This is another post on a Facebook group from a buyer's agent begging and pleading with the listing agents to be reducing the price. And instead of making an offer, right? Just make an offer. Here's the thing is that I'm seeing, especially at this time of the year, homes coming in $50,000, $100,000 under list price when we see the final closing. I wasn't involved in them, so I don't know the exact situation, but if you don't make the offer, you don't have any chance of it getting accepted. And, the thing is that I always think about these situations, they're not going to eat me. And you think about that when you make an offer, right? It's like the sellers, the listing agent, they're not going to eat you. Make the offer. I always tell my clients that we should be getting mad at the people who don't make an offer, not at the people who do make an offer. So if you're working with a buyer's agent, make sure that they're willing to make an offer for you. It only takes me about 12 minutes to make an offer. It takes Joyce about 5 minutes. So if that agent isn't willing to invest 5 to 12 minutes to make an offer for you, that's probably not the right person that you should be hiring, right? Next is that you want to be hiring somebody that can make an offer for you that they can't refuse. And I see not even always inexperienced agents, but just a lot of agents including some goofy things in offers. And my clients are very savvy people, and they're looking for drama-free transactions. And people put in things into their offers, and it's just like, oh my gosh, anybody can see what's going to happen with this. This transaction is just going to be full of drama. And my clients are typically willing to accept a little bit less money even from somebody if it's a drama-free transaction. So a good example is, if you've got a 70-year-old woman who has always impeccably taken care of her house, and you put in the offer for the home to be professionally cleaned, because that's just what the agent always puts in every offer, you're just irritating people. And that first impression is going to be that this person is going to be a pain in the butt for that woman. They love their house, right? They've taken pride in it. It's just such a silly mistake. I mean, wouldn't you rather buy the house for $10,000 less and you can get it cleaned yourself, even a house that probably doesn't even need cleaning, versus just irritating somebody up front? Doesn't make any sense. And finally, this is something I've never seen anybody talk about, but I would hire an agent that's not emotional. The real advantage of a buyer's agent or even a listing agent is they're not emotional. They shouldn't be letting their ego get in the way. You'll notice that sometimes I'll say my client, because that's a relationship that we have. But I never say my buyer or my seller, right? I don't have them in my pocket. We're not together buying this house. We're not together selling the house. I'm on the same team, but I'm an independent third party, and it's my job to keep things moving along and representing the deal and helping people get to accomplish what their goals are. And whenever I see a buyer's agent start talking about my buyer, I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be an emotional situation for them, and they've automatically let their ego, the ego of the buyer's agent, get in the way of this transaction. And as real estate agents, we always have to remind ourselves to step back and let our clients, let the buyers and sellers make the decisions for themselves, because that's really what you should want to do, is have a consultant, but at the end of the day, you really should be making those decisions yourself. All right, thanks so much for watching. Take care. We really appreciate your support, and best wishes. Let us know how we can help you.